Hello guys, I am back from another video and today we're talking about what if Deku was reincarnated, or not really reincarnated, or was in, high school DxD. So yeah, so in the last video we talked about how the, origins of how Izuku finally got to high school DxD after, basically killing himself after that little incident with him and Bakugo many years ago. He was given some hollow organs thanks to the help of Rin Kaneki, or, Ken Kaneki, or whatever you want to call him at this point, or otherwise known as, the One-Eyed King. After introducing himself to Izuku, he decided to train him and become a sort of, second in command of his new, ghoul-like team, or ghoul-like organization, which is just called the, White Fang. Yeah, I'm just taking some cues off of, a little bit of like, Ruby because, I'm making a what if about it soon. After, maybe about like, after two more episodes of this. Not really two more episodes, but more like one more episode, you basically get it. So, when, a few years have gone by, Izuku would just be there with Ken Kaneki with the, an entire army of ghouls, or in this case, maybe a bit of half ghouls, because most of them were either wiped out, or some of them didn't really reproduce enough. And because of that, several of the ghouls would start attacking several of the people there, and some of the heroes. And as for Izuku would charge in with his brand newly created Quinkei, which is specially created for him specifically. And if you're wondering, no, he didn't, rip it off like a random, ghoul. Instead, he got it off from himself. Apparently, his regeneration is so good to the point that it basically allows him to regrow even his, ripped off, I guess you can say, Kagane. Like, for example, his Ukaku or, Rinkaku. And because of this, it sort of made him, pretty much infamous in the, ghoul community. And so, after a bit of using his, brand newly created, Quinkei, which allows him to basically steal some of the abilities of a quirk user, like, for example, in, in the battle, for example, some random, ice-based quirk user, which, when he used the, Quinkei, it would open up like a xenomorph. Or, a alien from, Predators versus Aliens or something of that sort, where it had like an extra mouth as it would stab into the person and would gain its DNA. And a syringe-like device would basically appear and stab it through his, arm, causing him to basically have the abilities of that, specific quirk user, like for example, the ice user. So, after a while of basically killing them, and also, a while earlier, apparently Izuku already killed Ingenium, aka, Tenya Ida, and Uravity. And not only that, Dynamite, aka Bakugo Katsuki, which he also killed. And after, doing that, Izuku would basically continue on, instantly destroying all of them, until he gets to Todoroki, aka, Shoto Todoroki, because he never really changes, hero name. Because that's apparently his new hero name, apparently. And as for, Kuridi, aka, Momo Yaoyorozu, they would start fighting Izuku, as Izuku would take their quirks, and as for Izuku would create a brand new move on the spot, which he calls, Icy Bloom, or Frost Bloom, which allows him to basically create a large-ass flower made from ice, thanks to the help of the, ice-based quirk user, and after doing that, it would kill the person instantly, aka, Mr. Half and Half over there. After killing him and gaining both of their quirks, he would start creating, more, and I mean tons of these, Quinkei, specifically for, the rest of the ghouls, which he would start stealing quirks left and right. And after all of that, he would look towards, one of the, heroes that are coming by, and this hero was the new number one hero, aka La Million. After La Million, fought him off, and after getting shot by a Quinkei, which was being used by a certain, sharpshooter, aka, and, aka, laid in a gaunt, and after, getting, shot by her thanks to the help of the Queen K, Izuku would, be defeated, and after doing a little speech, Lemillion would be touched by it, even though it's coming from a horrible, horrible ass person, even though his intentions were sort of good. And after that, Izuku would die. After going into this weird looking realm, which, in front of him, was me, aka Jack. And apparently, aka me, is basically the new god. Yeah, actually, don't put that out of context, actually. And after explaining, that he's going to be reincarnated in a new world filled with demons, other types of things, and also a bit of explaining of some stuff from his past, aka my past, or at least, my, avatar's past. He was a bit confused, but either way, just decided to actually not try and, rationalize it. And after saying all of those things, and also giving him a brand new ability, in this case, not allowing him to basically, feed on just human flesh. Now allowing him to basically eat normal food again, including, tonkatsu. After doing that, Izuku would be brought to his brand new world, where he's going to be reincarnated into. And so, after leaving, we basically ended off the episode right there. So yeah, that is basically what happened last episode. Yeah, that's a pretty long explanation, but either way, let's talk about what happens next. So, we go to, a somewhat younger Izuku. Apparently, after finally getting reincarnated into this world, he would find out that this world is filled with some interesting inhabitants. And apparently, it's all true thanks to the help of Izuku. Not Izuku, I meant Jack, aka me. So, while Izuku was basically learning, about this world, apparently, this world has three main factions. These are the devils, the angels, and the fallen angels. After hearing about this, it would sort of, confuse him a little bit, but, after getting his new phone and apparently getting a new number, aka me, apparently he would explain. Apparently, these fallen angels are basically what you think. They're basically angels that committed sins, but not enough to basically turn them into devils. Sort of. I mean, there technically are devils, sort of, back in, olden times. Like, for example, Lucifer, Leviathan, things of that sort, but still. And then we go to, regular old devils, aka, the Satans type stuff. And apparently, they're not really that bad, sort of, or at least in his opinion. But he's probably just biased because apparently he was half demon, or devil, sort of. It's a bit complicated in his opinion, but either way, apparently the devils, instead of taking the souls and basically doing contracts with that and types of shit, instead, it's more like a service, sort of. It's not really that bad anymore. At least it's not as, just basically bringing the souls to hell after they make their deal. And finally, we go to the angels, which apparently they're actually just just regular old angels, like the whole holy type shit or something of that sort. And apparently they also have their, angels and devils also have their own human type things or factions, sort of. Apparently, they have humans basically working for them. Like, for example, the church, the Protestant and also the, what is that called? Catholic churches. And for the devils, there are the, what do you actually call them? Apparently, I can't really remember. I think it was called, servant, something. I can't really remember. It's been a long time since I actually watched, High School DxD, but I mostly read about the reason why, I decided to make this one up is because of the fucking Wattpad story. Yeah, I'm not even kidding. That's how I got into, High School DxD again. Yeah. Anyway, wait for a second. So, apparently these so-called devils, or at least, servant devils, or actually you want to call them, or just sub-devils, or whatever you want to call them. Apparently, they're basically just like devils that, are reincarnated. Apparently, after getting these evil pieces, which apparently devils have, they become their servants. Even though it sounds a bit weird, and definitely Izuku doesn't really want to become a servant of a devil for some odd reason. I mean, you can definitely see why, because there's no way that he's going to do that, mostly because he's interpreting it as, interpreting it as something else. And if you probably know, you probably know. And so, because of that, he's instantly avoiding any devil that he senses. Yeah, apparently he's able now to basically sense devils. So yeah, as we go to Izuku's, present. Izuku is currently in the basement of his house with his mother and father basically, at work. Apparently, they're currently working abroad, and he's all alone at his home. Like, all alone. Like, completely alone. And he doesn't really mind, but, I mean, he sort of wants to have some parents nearby. I mean, his mother, back in his old life, was pretty caring and always with him. But now his parents are basically just like gone to a different country, basically doing something or somewhat. Which, I mean, he understands, but still. But either way, Izuku is currently, fixing up his brand new Quinke, and is currently, getting ready for his first day at Kuo Academy, which apparently turned co-ed recently. Which he's, not really excited for. He's mostly excited for basically, just showing off his, intelligence, because remember, Izuku's pretty smart. So yeah, wait for a second. As Izuku's basically, fixing up his brand newly created Quinke because he recently sensed some pretty interesting activities recently. Apparently, he started sensing a bit of fallen angel energy, and he's been waiting to try and find some fallen angels. Mostly because, he's been collecting a lot of DNA. Yeah, ever since his parents basically left to go on their trip abroad, basically, doing their work there. And because he's all alone and because of the income that he's getting from his parents, well, he decided to make his own special room. In this case, a room that specializes in, getting DNA. So that he can get the DNA of, devils, fallen angels, and other types of people, which he, came across. Currently, while he was doing, his whole business, he's currently, fixing up a brand new, his brandly created, design for his Quinke. After, how do I say this, ripping off both his, which he ripped off his Bikaku and also his Ukaku. Yeah, that definitely doesn't seem painful. I mean, to him at least. I mean, it literally regenerates every time when he rips it off. And he's able to, gain his Kagane back instantly. After ripping off his, his Ukaku and also his, Bikaku, he would start making his, his brand new Quinke. While he was still revising the design, he would start hearing the sound of the doorbell. As after hearing it, he would say, I'm coming. After saying that, Izuku would start, putting up his hair, literally, slicking it back, as, he would have this almost Aizen type design. He has that Aizen-like hair, and if you don't know who's Aizen, he's from Bleach. Imagine him during, the 1,000-Year Blood War, which, by the way, I love Aizen. Ever since I got into Bleach, seriously, his design, it just screams Black Force energy, Black Air Force energy, seriously. So, when he did that, he would start going towards, the door. After opening it, he would see his childhood friend. Either way, his childhood friend was the perverted Issei, Wait for a second, god dang it, the thing. Issei Hayuda, or just Hayudao, or whatever you want to call it. As he would say this. Oh, hey Izuku. As Izuku would see his childhood friend. A young girl with, brown hair. And yes, I did not stutter. Yes, I'm going to be making him a girl. Right next to Kiba. You cannot stop me. I've been, I recently, going back into, reading some fanfics on Wattpad again, because, I was, busy with, busy with, a lot of, senior year bullshit right there. But when I got back, I wanted to see, some, good high school DxD fanfics, but most of them either made, Issei just a dumbass, an asshole, a fucking asshole, or, all in between. And I really want to see a, fanfic about, Issei actually being a girl and somewhat, not really a bad guy this time. So, yeah, that's why I decided to, you know, do that. So, as Izuku sees his childhood friend, he would say this. Oh, hey Issei. As she would say this. Oh, hey Izuku, so, are you ready for, um, going to Kuo? As Izuku would say this. Oh, yeah, that. I already got my uniform. And, by the way, what are you here for? As she would say this. Oh, can I at least, talk to my old friend, right? Because, we're basically childhood friends, and why you're not even, wait for a second, and why you're not even excited to see me, like, at all, as Izuku would say this. Oh, that, well, I'm sort of busy, as she would say this. Oh, let me guess, bills? As Izuku would say this. Well, sort of, I mean, my parents does all of the bills, except for, well, my bills, he would say, as she would say this. What do you mean? As Izuku would start remembering some of his bills. Mostly towards all of the electricity. Because apparently that's his job. Sort of. I mean, the rest of the house literally has electricity thanks to the help of, his parents basically paying the bills for that. But for his basement, it's a separate thing. So he has to pay, those bills for his basement. Or at least his basic, lab. As Izuku would say this. Oh, yeah, anyway, mind telling me why you're here exactly? As she would say this. Well, I wanted to give you this. My mother made too much of it. As Izuku would say this. Oh, sure. As he would look at the large box, or Tupperware, he would basically open up and would see some sliced brownies. With some, some icing on top with some sprinkles, as he would say this. Whoa, it actually looks pretty delicious. Thanks. As she would say this. You're welcome. Anyway, bye. As she would start running off, as Izuku would say this. Bye. After saying that, Izuku would start leaving and start going back to his usual work. As after, bringing the Tupperware towards, basically bringing the Tupperware into his basement and would start eating the brownies, he would say, I love this stuff. It's been a while since I actually eaten something that sweet. Actually, in a while. In fact, I've never eaten anything ever since I became a ghoul. Back in my old world, at least. And it's quite refreshing finally eating something that's not, just blood and flesh. He would say, nonchalantly, as Izuku would start continuing on, basically, checking out his, his Queen K. As he would activate his Queen K, as he would activate almost similarly to his old one, but except a little bit more, faster and much more dangerous to might I add. As Izuku would say this. Oh ho ho, I love this thing, he would say, as he would start getting a phone call. As Izuku would say this. He would sigh as Izuku would grab his phone as he would see that it's coming from Jack, aka moi. As he would say this. So what is it, Jack? As he would say this. Well, by the way, if you're going to Kuo, make sure to try not to get the attention of the student council. Especially, what's her face? Sona Shitori. Actually, I kind of forgotten her name. As he would say this. Sure. As he would say this. Oh yeah, by the way, try not to get the attention of the president of the Occult Research Club. And I mean, do not get her attention, like, instantly. Trust me, the last time I did, I almost got killed. As in, almost turned into her servant. As he would say this. Wait, did you actually came to this world? As he would say this. Well, more like a different world than this one, but, yeah, sort of. Let's just say she almost tried to kill me and almost turned me into her servant, but thankfully I ran away. As he would say this. But why were you here exactly? As he would say this. Oh, I just came here to talk to Odin about something. Apparently it's about, our whole, alliance with them. As he would say this. Sure. Anyway. Nice talking, I guess. As he would say this. Alright, bye. See ya. Toodaloo. As he would start hanging up. As after hanging up, he would say this. I really don't really think that that's God, or at least the Almighty One, or at least the one above all gods, or whatever he would say nonchalantly, as Izuku would start, facing up his Queen K, finishing up some touches. As after finishing it, he would start saying, I should probably get some sleep. Tomorrow's the first day of high school now. As Izuku would start cracking his neck. As after doing that, he would basically start, using his Kagane, specifically his Rinkaku, with, sort of. His Rinkaku, still has the heads, but it doesn't really, bite onto anything. It just, basically, blah. Basically, basically just, hits the floor, and Izuku's basically doing that whole, Dr. Octopus thing. As while he was doing that, he would basically make it up to his bedroom and would say, night. After saying that, he would jump onto his bed and would fall asleep. So, early in the morning, maybe about 4 in the morning, which, by the way, is my time of basically waking up for school. I mean, I can definitely see why for all of you Americans over there are thinking, why the fuck do you sleep, basically wake up at that early in the morning? I live in the Philippines. Trust me, it's bad. Seriously, I get really sleepy every time I, wake up in the morning. But thankfully, a cold fucking shower and some hot coffee can certainly wake me up. Well, I don't really drink coffee anymore. Because I'm, I'm not going to say anything else because, it's a bit personal, but either way, let's continue on with the episode. So, as after taking a bath and also, eating breakfast, maybe about 5 in the morning, he would start packing all of his things, including his, uniform, as he would look like this. So, just imagine Izuku wearing something like this, including the whole glasses thing. Because, he's sort of gone into, a bit too much of, basically doing all-nighters and basically, working on his, brand new Queen K, which, is this. Yeah. Yeah, it caused him to have a bit of eye problems, and so would have glasses. Even though technically he can, sort of heal, which did, but he decided to wear glasses mostly because it's for fashion because he thinks it's a pretty good fashion statement, or, just because he thinks it's kind of cool. So, when he starts going to, school, aka to Kuo Academy, you would see, right beside him was Issei, as Issei would say this. Oh, hey Izuku, as Izuku would say this. Yeah? As she would say this. Well, you certainly are different, she would say, as Izuku would say this. What do you mean by that? As she would say this. Well, you certainly have a, an interesting look. As Izuku would say this. Oh yeah, the long hair and the, glasses. As she would say this. Yeah, I never really noticed you have long hair. As he would say this. Oh yeah, I sort of, usually just tie it in a bun. And rarely people can see it. As she would say this. Oh, I see. Izuku. As Izuku would say this. Yeah? As she would say, what's with the large case over there? As Izuku would look over and would see the large case beside him. As he would say this. Oh, I was planning to maybe join the music club or something. I recently started getting into guitar. As she would say this. Oh, really? As Izuku would say this. Yeah. Obviously lying because instead of a violin or something or a guitar, nope, it's his Queen K, aka this thing. Oh boy. So, after, doing, a bit of talking with her, they would make it towards the gate of Kuo Academy. While they're walking through the, through the halls, several girls are basically looking at him, having these, almost dreamy-like faces. As Izuku would start to think, well, this is certainly going to be annoying, he would say in his mind, as a few people there, mostly boys, were just glaring at him instantly, like instantly glaring at him. As Izuku would start to think as well, just leave me alone. I just don't want to mess with you guys. And I don't even care about having a girlfriend. Besides, I think I sort of have a girlfriend right now, he would say. As after saying that, like, in his mind, he would make it towards his class, which apparently is, you know, actually wait for a second. Actually, like, erase that part. So, as Izuku is basically walking towards the, student council office to basically get his, his schedule with, with her, aka, Issei, they would make it towards the, the room of the student council. After knocking on the door, he would look towards a girl with blackish hair, short and black hair, and with glasses, with somewhat pinkish eyes. Sona, aka, the girl with, I guess you can say, like, pinkish eyes and, like, glasses. As she would say this. Oh, hello there. Are you perhaps a new transfer student? As Izuku would say this. Oh yeah, the name's Izuku. Izuku Midoriya. And yes, he does have the same name. Apparently, for some odd coincidence, apparently his parents have the same last name as his, as his, original life back in, the My Hero Academia world. And she would say this, and you must be Issei Haidu, right? As she would say this, yeah, we're here for your, here for our schedules for, classes. As she would say this, well, welcome in. As after, walking into the, student council room, you would be given their, their specific, schedules. But when Izuku was given his, Sona would have this almost weird expression when she touched Izuku's hand. Almost like she was afraid. And she would say this. Mr. Midoriya. As Izuku would say this. Yeah? As she would say this. Never mind. You can leave now. As Izuku would say this. Sure. As Izuku would have a suspicious, look in his eyes, as you'd start to think, I just hope she doesn't know. After saying that, Izuku would start leaving started to leave, the student council room. As for, Issei, she would also start to leave. And apparently they also have the same classes. Like, exactly the same. As for Sona, we basically go back to Sona, as she would say this. Well, he certainly is powerful. Maybe I should bring him into my... Yeah. Maybe I should bring him into my peerage, she would say. I think it's better than bringing him into her peerage, she would say. As she was mostly talking about Rias, because recently Rias has been doing a lot of drastic things. As in, basically, seeing a powerful, let's just say a powerful person, like for example, a, sacred gear user, and would basically, tell, or at least somewhat, command one of her, peerage members to basically bring him into trouble and killing them and basically turning them into her, servant. And she was thinking about bringing Izuku in so she won't, so he won't be turned into, one of her servants. Hopefully. So, back to Izuku and, Issei. As they arrived at the, at their, wait for a second. After arriving at their classroom, they would start, introducing themselves. The teacher would be nearby, just like watching them. As Izuku would say this. The name's Izuku Midoriya. It's nice to meet you all. And if you're wondering, why do I have an accent? Well, he would start laughing a little bit as, a little bit of trivia time, I guess you can say. Apparently, his mother is actually half British. Apparently, from his mother's side, apparently she was, her, grandfather, or at least Izuku's grandfather, aka, his mother's, father was apparently from, from England, and apparently transferred here mostly because, he was, I guess you could say, like, sort of deciding to, live here, mostly for, college reasons. And after meeting, his mother's, mother, they would sort of hook up and would make, Izuku's mother. And after that, Izuku came into light, and yeah, Izuku's sort of quarter, British, as Izuku would say that. As all of the people there would just look at him, mostly the girls with either, a bit of lust or interest. While the boys are basically having an anger fit, or at least having an aneurysm right now. Basically wanting to burn him at the stake at this point. As while Izuku's, sensing all of that, Izuku would say this. Anyway, I should be, getting to my seat. As he would look at the teacher, as she would say this. Oh, yeah. You will be sitting right next to... As while she was thinking, she would look towards a girl with, whitish hair and golden eyes. As she would say this. You'll be sitting right next to Kaneko. As Izuku looked towards the girl, as she seems to have whitish hair and golden eyes, and seems to have a cat-like hairpin, and Izuku can obviously tell that she's probably a yokai, just by the sense of senjutsu. Or at least I think that's senjutsu. I don't really know if it's the actual term for that in the anime, or the show, or whatever you want to call it. As when Izuku saw her, Izuku would sit down right next to her. As Izuku would say this. Hello there. As she would say this. Hello, she would say. As Izuku would say this. I guess we're gonna be seatmates, I guess. As she would say this. Yeah, just don't annoy me, she would say. And, by the way, she would say, as Izuku would look at her, as Izuku would say, what? As she would say, are you a pervert? As Izuku would just look at her with a, I guess you can say a raised eyebrow, as he would say, no. At least I think, I don't really know. As she would say this. Whatever, she would say, and would start, listening to the class. As, after a while, basically doing their lessons, and, it was finally lunchtime, Izuku decided to sit right next to, a nearby tree. While he was eating, he would start to hear the sound of screaming, which Izuku was alerted by, thanks to help of his, senses. As, when he looked over, he would start having a deadpan expression, seeing two boys, one with a bald head and one with glasses, being chased by the entire, kendo club, saying, "You damn perverts, you'll die!" Like, all of them would start yelling at them, as the guys are currently, running away in fear. As Izuku would say in his mind, well, that's certainly interesting to say the least, he would say in his mind, but either way, he would start getting back to his lunch. While he was eating lunch, nearby a person was watching him. In this case, Sona, aka Sona Satori, which apparently that's her full name after hearing some of the students. As while she was watching him, she would say this. So that's Izuku. He certainly is interesting, Arias. As she would say this. Yeah, I also sense an immense power from Haidu over there, she would say. As she would see Haidu, aka, Issei, let's just say, getting some interesting things. Even though she's a female, it doesn't mean that she's still, it doesn't mean that she's, not a pervert, and still is one. Pretty much towards Izuku, mostly. She was basically, fantasizing about him right now. Basically grabbing a book and basically fantasizing, instead of, some random guy's face, instead it's Izuku's. She would say this. She is certainly interesting, she would say, specifically Rias. As Sona says this. Yeah, I guess you could say that. Hey, Rias? As Rias would say this. Yeah? As she would say this. I want to take Izuku in. As she would be surprised, as she would say, you usually don't really get any, and I mean any members in your peerage, unless if they have higher grades or is quite powerful. As she would say this, well, I see something in Izuku when I first touched him. As she would say this, then I will guess I will just go for Haidu over there. As after saying that, she would say, I see. Wait for a second. As, Rias would say this. Huh. Either you fall in love, or as she would say this. What? She would say with a blushing face, as she would say this. No, I don't think of him that way. Besides, we just met. As she would say this. Maybe it's love at first sight, said Rias Remery, the red-haired girl with bluish eyes. As she would say this. Whatever, she would say. I'm just going to be getting him. Mostly because I don't want you trying hurting him. After all, the last time that you gotten your Peerage members, as she would say this, I just mostly got them from horrible places. And besides, I make sure that, Issei is going to have a great time here. And I'm going to be finding a way to stop this stupid marriage, she would say. As when she said that, Sona would say this. Yeah, sure, she would say, as she would start to leave. After doing that, we go back to Izuku and, his childhood friend, aka, Issei. As when, they're basically, in class, they would start listening to it as, it was mostly just, like, normal-ish. Sort of. Izuku can obviously sense, like, a few people were watching both of them. Mostly Issei, which Izuku thinks that they're probably from a peerage. Probably somebody that's quite powerful, judging by the, power coming off of them. After classes, it was finally the end of the day as they would start leaving, including Issei and him. As when they're, leaving, Izuku would finally come back to his, house. After going back to his house, he would say goodbye to Issei as Issei would say this. Hey, Izuku, as Izuku would say this. Yes, Issei? As she would say this. Well, if you don't really have anything to do, can we hang out sometime? As Izuku would say this. Huh. Sure, why not? After saying that, she would say this. Oh, cool. Bye, she would say as she would start leaving. As Izuku would say this. Interesting little girl, he would say. As after leaving, he would start leaving to go back to his, workshop. As he's finishing up the final touches on his Queen K, including the whole, opening mount mechanism, because he tried that once and it's not really working that well, and so he's trying to fix it up. So, we go to a different perspective. Currently in a nearby church. Several people there, mostly wearing some pretty skimpy outfits, including one certain girl, as this person that was in the middle seems to be a person with... This person seems to have reddish eyes and elf-like ears, with black hair and really pale skin. As he would say this. No, I want you to target this girl. As they would start looking at the image, as one person would say this. Oh, ho, she's quite the looker. After this person said that, this person would be revealed as a white-haired man with a priest-like robe, as his tongue was sticking out, as he would say this. I'll gladly take over this one. As this person with the pale, with the pale face and also, elf-like ears would say this. And as for you, Rainer. As Rainer would say this. What is it? As he would say this. I don't want you to interfere with this mission, because this mission is mostly for her. As he would point towards a girl with darkish, navy-ish, bluish hair with golden eyes, as she seems to have multiple wings, blackish to be more precise, signifying that she's a fallen angel. As this man with the pale face and elf-like ears would say this. I want you to target this boy. I heard that he's quite powerful, and seems to be not a part of any faction, but if he were to turn on us, I want you to kill him immediately. And right now I think he's quite a threat. After all, he did attend Kuo Academy, and if those devil scum were to find out, as Cal Winner, which apparently is his name, I meant her name, she would say this. Then I will just have to take care of them, shall we? as she would say this. I meant he. Yes, I wanted to take care of him, and kill him in any way, shape, or form. Just make sure to kill him. Got it? As she would say this. Very well then. After saying that, he would say this. Now, you may do as, please. Do as you please, or whatever. He would say as he would disappear. After disappearing, everybody would start leaving, doing their own missions. As this girl by the name of Cowinner would start leaving. As, the girl with the, pretty BDSM-y type outfit would say this. Cowinner, can you at least let me join? As she would say this. No, it's my mission, and you should probably stay here. Because you're nothing more than weak. Rainer, she would say, as Rainer would say this. I see. After saying that, she would start leaving. After leaving, she would start, doing her mission, getting ready to interact with poor little Izuku. And oh boy, this is going to be the instant last mistake that she's ever going to make. So yeah, I'm probably going to leave this episode right off here. So I hope you liked the video, comment, and subscribe, and I hope to see you guys next time. Bye-bye!